What it do, guys? It's your girl ഛⴏᴜ, and I am here with We Serve Dope. What is that? We serve difference of opinions presented to educate in an entertaining way, okay? Guys, today I am going to give you a story here that is probably going to be tough for a lot of people to watch, to hear, so trigger warning, okay? Today's story is about Jessica Ross, okay? The Georgia mother who was pregnant with her very first child. Her and her boyfriend was excited. The baby was due. She was in labor. Okay, she went to the doctor. She thought she was going to have a regular labor, be able to see her first baby for the first time. First mommy jitters, all that good stuff, okay? So as she dilated, they let her know she's ready. We're going to start pushing. Let's have this baby, okay? See what happens, though, that during the birth, something that's called shoulder dystocia, right? The baby gets stuck. The shoulders are broad and bigger than the mama's cervix bone, right? Like the baby cannot come out, okay? What usually happens is that while you are pushing, right, when this baby gets stuck in the shoulder, sometimes they suck back in, okay? They go back in. So I'm not a doctor, right? So I don't really know what are the procedures you take for such a thing. I think that you have to go fast and you have to get the baby out, right? I don't think that you can stop and do a C-section. If you could have, they should have done this. I don't know why they didn't do this, but unfortunately they did not do that. What they did was they went in there, the doctor came in, the doctor decided that they had to get the baby out quick. So I guess, see, the procedure is you have to wiggle the baby out. You have to wiggle side to side or something like this. I guess this doctor did this, but broke the neck bone of the baby, guys, okay? And so what happened was that automatically the body comes out, but the head stays in mom's vagina, okay? So mom still had to get surgery, guys. And that's not even the worst, guys. I'm gonna let you guys watch these clips. For those of you who know me, know that I do commentary in between the clips. If you don't like that, that is fine. I'm not gonna be for everybody, but that's how I do it here on this channel. If this is it for us, that's okay. Hopefully I'll see you down the line. But if this is it, that is okay. No hard feelings, no animosity, okay? For those of you who are ready and wants to hear the story and down, I gave you the trigger warning now, okay? So let's get into it.
On July the 9th, 2023, just a few weeks ago, Jessica and ᴛᴏᴜᴘ, they were excited. She was 37 weeks pregnant at that time, and they were really, really looking forward to the delivery of their firstborn child. Her water broke at about 10 o'clock in the morning on the 9th. Appropriately, she went over to labor and delivery over the Southern Regional. They admitted her and put her on an IV and gave her some medicine to basically progress the delivery. She labored for about 10 hours, and then probably around about 8:40 in the evening, she was fully dilated, and they told her to start pushing. Well, during the course of the pushing, the baby stopped descending. There's something called a shoulder dystocia, fancy word for saying that the baby's shoulders could not fit through the pelvic girdle. It got stuck by the bone there in the pelvic girdle. That was recognized, and what wound up happening after that is just brutal. Dr. St. Julian came in, and she, in the process of trying to deliver this baby, pulled on the baby's head and neck so hard and manipulated them so hard that the bones in the baby's skull, face, and neck were broken.
Again, guys, trigger warning, trigger warning.
When Dr. St. Julian finally took Miss Ross to the operating room for a C-section, cesarean section, where they cut the belly and deliver the baby through the abdomen, when the womb was open, the feet came out, the body came out, and there was no head. The head was stuck in the vagina, and the head subsequently was delivered vaginally. The baby had been decapitated.
Hey guys, forgive me here. I'm not really sure how this goes, right? But I think that when you go through a pregnancy like this, if the baby is feet first, ain't they supposed to automatically do a C-section? I feel like he's saying that the body came out without the head, right? the head stayed in, right? So the body came out first. So usually if the feet is first, because this happened to me, you usually just get a C-section. They didn't allow me to push when my son was feet first. I had to get an emergency C-section for that. So I'm wondering, why was his feet first? And how did that happen if at first she had the head? She was wiggling the baby out, broke the bone. So how is it that the body came out without the head? So this means the baby was feet down first, right? So that should be like an automatic C-section, right, guys? Tell me what you guys think down below, because from my experience, I know that it's an automatic C-section. So I don't really know what happened here, but let's get back into it.
Dr. St. Julian was grossly negligent for applying ridiculously excessive force on the baby's head and neck. Dr. St. Julian and the nurses at Southern Regional Medical Center, they were grossly negligent for not getting the help of the on-site in-hospital OB in a timely manner. They have a hospitalist obstetrician who's there on site. And when doctors have problems with delivery, the first thing you do is call them and you get help. You get another perspective, another angle. This was not done in a timely manner, negligently. And then also the nurses at Southern Regional Medical Center were grossly negligent for failing to advocate and insist in other capacities that Ms. Ross got a C-section quicker, sooner, in a more timely manner.
That is exactly my point. That's my point right there. She should have had a C-section sooner. Totally agree.
So those are the allegations that we claim in this suit. We just filed it. We're going to be very, very aggressive with the discovery. We're going to put all of these people who were in the room under oath and find out what they have to say specifically about what happened that tragic evening. That is the essence of our suit. That's the essence of the press conference, and we're going to open things up for open things up for questioning right now.
Have you spoken with the hospital? I mean, why do you think they tried to cover this up?
Yeah, we cannot speculate about what the motivations were for the lack of candor, the lack of disclosure, the misrepresentation, and the fraud. We will find out because we're going to put everybody under oath, and they're going to swear, and they're going to tell us what they were thinking. We don't know.
Oh, everybody's going under oath? You think it's going to be some snitching going on? What you think going to happen in this room? Do you think there's going to be some snitching, or do you think that everybody is going to take that nursing, doctor, hospital oath where you don't say nothing that happens, everybody protect each other, protect the hospital, protect yourself, protect each other type of thing? What do y'all think is going to happen with that? Do you think somebody's going to talk? I feel like somebody's going to talk, and it's going to be a nurse. The nurses are going to talk. One or two of them. But because my thing is, everybody was watching this. Nobody assisted this girl. So everybody knew procedures, okay? I guarantee you there was at least one person who knew this shit wasn't right, okay? And just allow it to happen, okay? Thinking, hey, I'm just a nurse. I don't got the credentials for that. Or they're not going to listen to me. Oh, whatever. That's why they say, see something, say something. Speak the fuck up. If nobody else is, okay? Stop trying to be like everybody else. You see something you know is wrong, why can't it be you to change the situation or to say something? You know, somebody could have helped somehow, some way. I don't know how. Listen, but somebody could have helped or intervened or something. Told the doctor to get a second opinion, get another doctor, something, right? So when things like this happen, I do remember. I'm going to give my story at the end because this has happened to me before the shoulder dystocia thing. And I do remember that a whole bunch of doctors did swarm in to try to help get my son out when he was stuck. This is another son of mine. Okay. So I don't understand why she didn't call for backup. I don't understand why nobody did. You need a second opinion when it comes to this. You're supposed to call somebody quick, especially if you're not really sure what to do, if this never happened to you or you're not experienced or something, because something happened here. Either she had lack of experience or she was just negligent, period.
How long did it take Jessica and Yvonne to learn what happened to their child?
Attorney Lynch, if you would. This is dealing with the fraud and cover-up.
You heard what he said. Fraud and cover-up. So yes, guys, Not only did they decapitate this baby, they tried to cover it up. Let's get into it. Again, guys, trigger warning, trigger warning.
The family went in on the 9th for the delivery of the child. They were not notified of what actually happened until the 13th, a few days later.
And that was from the medical examiner? That wasn't
No,
from the
that was from the funeral home.
That was from the funeral.
Yes.
Can you also speak to the fact that they were not allowed to hold their child?
Yes, they were not allowed to hold their child. The hospital basically said, hey, well, we can't let you hold the child. We can, you know, and my understanding is that they at one time did not want them to see the child. But what they did, the hospital wrapped the child up very tightly so that they could not see what actually happened, and that they were able to see the child behind the glass.
And let me be more specific. In an attempt to basically misrepresent and miscommunicate to the family, when they wrapped this baby up tightly, they propped the baby's head up on top of the blanket to make it appear as though the head was actually attached when it wasn't.
So they actually saw the baby on the day of the delivery?
The day that morning, well, the day of the delivery, it's my understanding that same day. So when I say same day, kind of went from the 9th into the 10th. So the stat C-section was called at about close to midnight. The surgery was over at 3 in the morning. The first conversation that Dr. St. Julian had with the couple was at about 5 in the morning, and that's when there was not total candor and disclosure at that time. The records reflect that Dr. St. Julian came in the next day and the next day after with the intention of actually telling the couple the truth. The couple reasonably didn't want to talk to her at that time, and finally, a day after she was discharged, there was a meeting that occurred 4 days after the delivery where Dr. St. Julian came clean.
Just for clarity purposes, can you kind of go through the timeline of when the birth happened or the C-section,
Sure.
when they learned their baby did not make it, and then when they learned what actually happened?
And all of this is in the complaint, in the facts, but
And can you step closer to the...
yeah, all of this is in the complaint and it's in the facts, but the water broke at about 10 in the morning. They were admitted into the hospital at L&D at about 10 in the morning, 10:11 in the morning. The labor continued at about 8:40 in the evening. That's when she was fully dilated and she started pushing. All of the shoulder dystocia and the failure to descend occurred from 8:40 until about midnight. At about 11:49 p.m., after Dr. St. Julian had been manipulating the head and the neck and the like, trying to get this baby delivered, that's when she finally called for the stat C-section. And they took Miss Ross from the labor delivery suite, which is a separate room. The operating room was just right next door. So they rolled through the doors and then they proceeded and started with the C-section. The C-section, the baby was delivered at about 12:11. That's what the records show. You could go back to the complaint and just verify. But about 10 minutes after rolling the baby back there, the mother back there, the baby was delivered again. You know, half of the baby first, and then the head a couple seconds after that. And then at 5 in the morning, after the surgery was over at 3 in the morning. At 5 in the morning, that's when Dr. St. Julian came in and gave them the misinformation.
Did your clients raise concerns during the delivery about how things were going, and did they feel like they were ignored because of their race?
The answer is, in fact, yes. There's going to be more evidence developed in this, but my clients asked for a C-section much sooner than it was ever delivered, while the baby was viable.
And they asked for a C-section? And they asked for a C-section. Before any of this happened, they asked for a C-section. Wow. So this hospital was all the way negligent. Like, let's throw them under the bus, okay?
And I don't know if Jessica or Trayvon are willing to talk about just what the emotional impact has been like.
You know, I can tell you, we've asked them to do that. They've declined at this point. It's just too overwhelming for them. I mean, that was the plan as of yesterday, but when they were sitting in the conference room, they looked at y'all and said, we just can't do it.
Sorry, one more question. Did they feel like insurance or lack of insurance was playing into this at all in the decision not to go for a C-section sooner?
No. All right. My law partner, Keith Lindsay, just has conclusion.
That was actually a really good question. Like, do you think that insurance played a part here? The lack of insurance or the kind of insurance? He says no, but that was a really good question.
She came into her room 2 hours later and essentially withheld information. Did not tell this young lady, that her baby had been decapitated. She told them that your baby died from injuries to his neck. Completely purposely withheld the fact that this baby had been decapitated, reasonably knowing that once they found out the details and the reality of what happened, then they would be that much more emotionally traumatized. And so there was a cover-up that happened in terms of the dissemination of information. I want to double down on that. The same day after the baby died, you had people who were there working in the hospital. They lied to this young couple. This girl was 20 years old. Her boyfriend's 21.
These are babies, y'all. These are babies experiencing this. I feel so bad for them both. The trauma that this is going to cause for them both. This is so sad. And I do hope that they get the help that they need. I really do hope they get the counseling, the therapy, whatever it is that they need, especially the man here, the boy, because they really don't believe in help and therapy and doctors and none of that. And, for him to be a man, and, some men, not all, they don't really believe in doctors, right? They don't want to get checkups. They don't want to go to doctors. And can you imagine them depending on a doctor to bring their baby into the world, and this happens? Like, this person will never trust a doctor. Like, I feel bad for them both, but I feel bad for them individually for different reasons, And it's really sad. It's really sad.
They told them that, hey, you all's baby's death, those circumstances do not warrant there being a reflexive, free autopsy that's to be done by the medical examiner in the county. And that's just an abject lie. Those circumstances of the death are exactly why they do reflexive autopsies. And they tried to encourage this couple to cremate their baby in an attempt to destroy evidence. So they're trying to obstruct the development of evidence. And then also they were trying to destroy evidence. And this is the crazy part. A couple of hours after her baby was dead, this young lady tearfully, sorrowfully said, I want to see my baby. Like just about all women do when they have a baby that dies. They usually open up the blanket, they look there and make sure all the fingers are there and everything. And you know what the people at the hospital told her? They told her, you can't see your baby. She insisted, she persisted. And once she persisted, they said, well, okay, you can see your baby, but you cannot hold your son. And so what they did is that they wrapped the baby up tightly in a swaddling blanket. They propped the baby's head up on the body and laid it in a bassinet, and she was able to look at her baby through a glass window, thinking that her baby was intact. And that happened. So we have an extra element that's sinister in this claim that deals with fraud, misrepresentation, and how in the hell are you going to basically treat human beings like this? This is the sauce to this case. It's just not the death and the decapitation. It goes further in terms of sinister cover-up, fraud, misrepresentation, and treating people like they're less than. And I'll say this again. They damn sure wouldn't have treated those young people like that if they weren't young and black. This doctor.
Yeah, I heard that. They denied them a C-section. They denied them the truth. And then they denied them an autopsy. Then denied her to hold her baby after passing away. What? Now, again, I'm going to tell you my story at the end, but when my baby passed away, they let me hold my baby for as many hours as I wanted to. It was to the point where they was like, listen, you got to let him go. Okay? They let me sit with my baby. So this is sad, having to see your baby through a glass like that, thinking, the baby passed away for whatever reason. And the real reason is that the head was chopped off. Like, not chopped, but pulled off. So they wrapped this baby's body up and just plomped the head on the top. Like, guys, oh my God. I'm still so shocked. See what I'm saying? There's evil people out in the world. And for everybody to agree on this, the nurses, the doctors, to be a part of this shit, knowing that this is a first-time mother, like the inhumanity that was in this hospital this night. I'm gonna get in calm now because y'all know I get hype. Okay, we're gonna let's keep getting into it. Okay, let's
chapter in a horrible story. For the first time, we're hearing from the funeral home director that blew the whistle after he received a decapitated baby from a Metro Atlanta hospital. Atlanta News First Patrick Quinn is live tonight south of Atlanta outside Watkins Funeral Home that's in Riverdale. And Patrick, the family and agencies across the county are thanking staff there for speaking up.
Rick, the truth of the matter is, without Sylvania Watkins here, seeing this baby, noticing something was wrong, and speaking out, not only will a multi-agency investigation into this death may not be happening, but also the family might not know the truth around this young boy's death.
I've seen almost everything, and I won't say that no more because this was something I had never seen.
Imagine being that man. That baby coming in and you seeing that baby like that. He just said he's always said, I've seen everything. But now he's going to stop saying that because this is something he's never seen. Like that, right? Seeing this baby like that, insane. I can't imagine being him either in this story.
July, Sylvania Watkins at ᴛᴏᴜᴘᴘ Funeral Home in Riverdale received a baby's body from a nearby hospital. It didn't look right to have come from a hospital and not the coroner. He called the family and quickly realized.
They didn't know. They did not know.
The parents did not know the boy's true condition. His body was detached from his head.
And seeing the pain and anguish as if like, what really just happened? Your heart goes out to them.
It was then Watkins knew he had to alert authorities. His next call, the Clayton County Medical Examiner, who now has urged the Georgia Composite Medical Board and the Secretary of State's office to investigate 3 specific doctors and the nursing staff at Southern Regional Medical Center. The family has since filed a lawsuit against the hospital and medical staff involved in the birth.
It was just horrible, despicable, terrifying.
Kimberly Seals-Allers is a maternal health advocate and executive director of Earth, an app that turns Black and brown birth experiences into data to spark change. Here in Georgia, in 2022, state data shows Black infants are more than twice as likely to die during birth than white infants.
When we see systemic issues like that, this is a cultural problem, and these are the things that need to be rooted out, not just at this particular facility, but out of healthcare providers who have grown to dehumanize us and our infants.
Seals-Allers says change in birthing rooms starts with speaking up. For Sylvania, initially speechless, he found his words.
When you see wrong and it's something you can do to make it right to a certain degree, you got to speak up. You got to speak up.
And in the latest statement from the hospital, the Southern Regional Medical Center, a spokesperson said, as our deepest sympathies remain with the family, Southern Regional Medical Center denies the allegations of wrongdoing in the complaint referencing the hospital. Now, Sylvania went on to tell me that they were see their baby before he was buried. In Riverdale, Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.
Patrick, thank you.
Not the right way to go, to say that they lying, to say that you did allow them to see the baby when you know you actually really did try to keep them from seeing that baby. You clearly tried to cover that up. And then you send the baby straight to the funeral home without going to the coroner, telling them that they had no means to get one, that they couldn't get one due to the situation. It wasn't means to get one. When this sounds exactly like the means to get one, right? Kudos to the funeral home who said something's not right here and called the family. And it turned out the family didn't know. Shout out to them. See something, say something. What I always say on this channel. Okay? See something, say something. Shout out to him. Real talk. All right, guys? Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of my story. Yes, I had a son, 2013. He was huge, big baby, okay? He got stuck during the pregnancy. He got stuck. They wouldn't let us film or anything. I don't know why they have that as a rule. I guess because they know they be fucking up and they just want to cover their asses. But we still kind of filmed a little bit, right? And my son did get stuck. When he got stuck, they pulled him out. However, I do remember when he got stuck, a whole bunch of doctors came in. A whole bunch of doctors and nurses came in trying to get him out. The doctor did not try alone. He did call for backup, and I think that is what saved my son. Okay? However, like I said, my son did pass away, but not due to that. He was born with a disease called ഛᴜᴜᴜ. He got surgery and caught an infection and did not make it from that infection. Okay? He did pass away at home with us. He caught an infection from the wound, okay? Which is a horrible experience. Maybe I'll do a story time for that one time. Anybody who knows what ⴛᴜᴜᴜ is, okay, it's a disease in the colon, and he had to get a pull through, and unfortunately that wound stays open for a while, so it can get infected, and he caught an infection and passed away, okay? And again, when he passed away, they did allow me to hold him for a while. I did get to hold him for hours, okay? Family got to come and hang with me and the baby and all of that. It was a whole moment they allowed me to have, okay? They even took footprints of his feet and his hands and they gave it to us. So it's really sad that they didn't get something, right? It's really sad, like, to hold them at least, to hold him. They didn't even get that. They didn't even get the truth at that. The truth. Everybody just tried to cover this up. Like, they went wrong in so many ways here. So many steps they could have taken that they didn't take. So many things that they could have did that they didn't do. Like, what? And then the people around us just watching, knowing that what they're doing ain't right. Guys, be careful out here. Be careful out here. I don't care who it is, doctors, nurses, get names, keep tabs, watch their asses, okay? I don't know about y'all, but I have a African-American son. He is black. My dad was Jamaican. My mom was Puerto Rican. My dad was Jamaican, Panamanian. My mom was Puerto Rican. And my baby father is black, pure black. So my children are black. And my son is black. Okay, because I did have another son, okay, and he was the one that was born feet first, and they did a C-section for him. As soon as they saw he turned around with his feet down, guys, I got an automatic C-section for him, okay, and thank God everything turned out well with him as well. He is here and still alive. He's 4 now, okay. So I've had experiences, guys. So I kind of know, a little bit, and I do feel neglect a whole lot of it here, okay. After my first experience when my first son passed away, I get names, I watch doctors, everything, okay? I even had an incident where they tried to get me to sign paperwork to withdraw blood for him that was unnecessary at a hospital, okay? My son is African American, okay? Unfortunately, you do have to watch your African American children. It is a true thing, okay? It is a true thing, No offense to anybody who's taking this offensive, but in the end, it's the truth. It's the truth. Speaking from experience. You got to watch what you sign in. You got to watch where you're going. You got to get the ratings on these hospitals and these places. Always get names, keep tabs, what they did at this hour, that hour, what time is it? Always do this. You have to do this. And I'm speaking also from experience. I have been in these hospitals and dealt with neglect and what's it called? Malpractice. And they do try to cover that shit up. So when things like this happen for you, you got to move fast because there's like a limit to things. There's like a time limit to you getting to sue or you getting to report things. Okay, so make sure you move fast if these things are happening to you. Ask for help. Seek people. Seconds, thirds, opinions. Don't just sit in none of this shit. If you're the one watching this happening and you like, what should I do? What should I do? Ask somebody if you're not sure. And hopefully they will encourage you to be the one to speak up because somebody has to. Period. Please let me know what your opinions are down below, guys. I know this is a big one. I'm sorry for the triggers here. I did give you guys trigger warnings. I hope that you guys got to watch it through. And if you did, please let me know your opinion down below. Did you go through something similar? How did you go about it? What advice do you have for a young mother having a child for the first time or just a mother in general, right? My heart goes out to this couple. My condolences for their baby. I wish them nothing but the best in the future. I hope that they do get to experience to have another beautiful, healthy child. I hope the experience is amazing for them. And I do hope that they get the help they need before they have another baby. But they life, right? I just hope them nothing but the best. I'm praying for them. And I hope that they stay prayed up as well. Let me know what you think down below, guys. I gave you my opinion. I gave you my experiences, guys, and you've been served, baby, okay? I will catch you on the next one, guys. Please take care of yourselves out here. Later.